Sometimes we see a man who's handsome, smart, charming, we think he's successful, respectable, someone you'd never fear. But imagine if that same man was your worst nightmare. Behind his smile there's darkness, and inside him a monster. Today I'm going to tell you the story of one of the most terrifying serial killers in American history. Ted Bundy, the man who murdered, kidnapped, and assaulted dozens of women. He fooled the police, escaped prison twice, and even defended himself in court. But in the end he paid the price. The beginning. Ted Bundy was born on November 24, 1946 in Vermont. His mother was single, and back then society was brutal. He grew up thinking his mother was his sister and his grandparents were his real parents. That secret and his grandfather's harsh treatment left a deep scar inside him. Later he moved with his mother to Washington. She got married to a man named John Bundy. Ted took his name, the perfect young man. Ted was handsome, charming, very intelligent. He studied psychology and later attempted law school. He was ambitious and always acted like he was special. But inside he was something else entirely. Especially after his girlfriend Stephanie Brooks broke up with him. She looked a lot like many of his future victims. The murders begin 1974. Suddenly girls started disappearing from the University of Washington. They were all beautiful with long hair parted in the middle. The same pattern. Ted used a clever trick. He'd pretend to be injured wearing a sling or using crutches and asked for help. When the woman got close he'd abduct her. He'd beat, assault and kill. Sometimes he even came back to the bodies days later, as if they were still alive, moving between states. As suspicion around him grew he moved between states. Utah, Colorado, every time a new victim, same method. But intelligence wasn't enough. In 1975 he got arrested for the first time. In his car they found strange tools, handcuffs, rope, a ski mask. Part of the truth came out, but then. The first escape, then the second, and disaster. In 1977 he escaped prison for the first time. He was caught after 6 days, a few months later. He escaped again, this time with genius planning. He lost weight, crawled through a ceiling vent and walked right out the front door. The police were lost and Ted flew to Florida. The Cuyahoga Massacre. He entered a sorority house at Florida State University. Within minutes he attacked 4 women, killed 2 and assaulted the others. A few days later he kidnapped a 12-year-old girl, Kimberly Leach, and killed her. There was no turning back now. He was caught again and insisted on defending himself in court. In the courtroom he smiled, joked, acted confident. He even proposed to a woman in front of the judge. And they got married during the session. But the end was coming, execution. In 1989, after years of investigations, Ted Bundy sat in capture and trial. The electric chair. Outside the prison people were celebrating, holding signs that read, "Burn Bundy." That was the end. Conclusion. Ted Bundy wasn't just a killer. He was a man who wore the mask of perfection to hide a personal hell. And that raises the question. How many people around us wear the same mask? We smile at them, trust them, never knowing they might be monsters. If you liked the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And let me know in the comments. Do you think Ted Bundy was mentally ill? Or was he fully aware of what he was doing? See you in the next story.